G'day there folks, I'm Beanie and you're watching another Beanie Draws video. In this video I will be taking you through the process of drawing Carnotaurus, which is one of the strangest looking carnivore dinosaurs out there, I will admit, but yeah, first what I think we'll do is, it seems that its hip is kind of in the middle of its whole body, so I'm just going to put it there. And I am actually going to go straight out and draw the legs first of all. So I'm going to put its, I'm going to keep calling these thigh pieces. And then put a knee in there. And then we will put in the, whatever that bone's called. Then what we'll also do is we'll put in its ankle, it's that bone, and this is basically going to be the foot. Now I've just finished editing a tutorial that I'm going to do about feet and kind of understanding bone structures of feet. That's not going to be out for a little while because it's about a 40-minute video. That's going to take quite a while to upload, so this may be out before then. Okay, what we'll also do is we'll put in the pelvis bone. At the moment I think it's best to make this as a skeletal piece, and then we'll form the rest of the body on that. We'll have its other leg up because it's going for a bit of a walk, possibly a run, whatever you want to decide. It's going to have another knee there. Then, from the knee, we'll draw a line down here, which will be its other, this bone, whatever this bone's called. If you know what that bone is called, comment in the descriptions. I'd love to know. Okay, now I'm going to have that bone. And this will go out into 3 little spiky bits, which will eventually be the feet. Or the toes, I should say. These are both of the feet. I'm just basically roughing out the proportions right now, making sure that we've got a good idea of proportions going on. I'm going to put in its pelvis bones, so that we know how to put the body in. Alright, next what we'll do is we'll put in a shape for the body. So we'll put in, the body seems to be quite long, so we'll give it a bit of a shape like that. Incredibly rough, incredibly loose. And around here is a very strange, in my opinion, looking shoulder bone. Like, that shoulder is incredibly massive for what is essentially very tiny arms. I'm sure there's some scientific reason for it, but I just don't get why Carnotaurus has such massive shoulders and chest plates when it has what is essentially, as I will draw now, a very, very tiny arm. Like, these arms make Tyrannosaurus's arms look massive and long in comparison, so what I'm going to do is put in its very, very tiny hands. I mean, come on, what's the point of having arms that short, really? You thought Tyrannosaurus was angry that it can't do things with its measly little arms. I feel sorry for Carnotaurus, I don't even think it has elbows. Anyway, what we'll do now is we will put in some lines that will be the rib cage. And I actually think that drawing a skeleton underneath the dinosaurs might be the best way to go about these tutorials. Because then you also get an idea of, you know, once you got the idea of the skeleton first, then you can build everything else on top of that. I mean, that's what Industrial Light and Magic do now with their dinosaurs. They always put a skeletal structure underneath their three-dimensional models. So I probably should do the same with my drawings. So we'll draw in the tail. I always find it a little bit difficult trying to fit in a tail in these pictures, because basically half of your image is consumed by a tail. So usually I see artists like they'll twist the tail around. I did that with my Indominus Rex image, but yeah. So as you can see here, I've the tail skeleton has vertebrae that goes kind of like that. So I'm basically drawing my line there, which is the tail area. So I'll draw the spine, and then what I'll do is I will put in the neck vertebrae, neck shape. It has some long, spiky, ridged vertebrae coming out of it, so I can't imagine that Carnotaurus would have twisted its head very much. Unlike a Velociraptor, which looks like it has a very flexible neck, and other dinosaurs with long necks, this one, I can't imagine it did. I think, to be honest, I think Carnotaurus is the Batman of dinosaurs, if you get the joke about Batman not being able to turn his head because his scale's all rubberized. And anyway, we will now draw the head. Its head is very squished. There we go. Its head is very squished. And also it has a bit of a triangular circular shape to the skull. Also, the very defining triangular spike at the end of its skull. And some people have theorized that Indominus Rex has Carnotaurus DNA because it has a very similar spike on the top of its head, and also has a lot of dermal spikes that that people have drawn on the Carnotaurus, which I will probably do the same thing later on. And what we'll do is we'll have its mouth open like this. It's got a very thin, narrow jaw compared to the top half of its jaw. So it's the bottom half of its jaw kind of reminds me of a Velociraptor, very thin and narrow. And I will now draw the shape, the brief shape of, there's a little line here that kind of is the snout hole, and I'll draw a hole for the, is this out of focus? I can't tell if this is in focus or out of focus. We'll find out, I guess. And then we'll draw the eye shape. And considering how small the head is compared to the rest of the body, you'll hear it here first, I will be doing a Carnotaurus head only. I also wouldn't mind doing an Allosaurus head as well, because I find the carnivore dinosaurs have very interesting shaped heads. But right now I'm doing the whole body, so I will now that we've got the skeleton structure, we can now refine the Carnotaurus by basically putting bits of muscle here and there, putting where I think the skin shape would be, and building up from there. So hopefully, so far, you have been able to follow along in doing the skeleton structure. Hopefully you've been able to follow along that far. The skeletal structure is basically the just the underlying foundation shapes. We'll be erasing a lot of it and building the actual dinosaur from here on. So let's do that now. So we've got the shoulder. We'll be keeping that in because it's got a very, very big shoulder. We won't go back into me wondering why it's so big. I will keep this line and that line, and I will probably keep some of the rib cage because I find that having rib cages is good for you will see rib cages in most animals, even under the skin. Even if they're healthy, you'll still see a bit of rib cage occasionally. We will connect some skin from the jaw down to the chest. So I'd say it'd be about there. Now, I've seen some skeletal research illustrations where you'll see the white skeleton, you'll see the black background of what the artist thinks the body looks like. I'm using basically those kind of illustrations as my reference. I'm going to draw in the head. Because, yeah, I really want to go into detail around here. I reckon that would look really cool, so I will be doing that as a video as well. But we also want to see the body, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, the skull has quite a lump around here. So I'm going to use that as a... what am I going to do? I'm going to build a curve that goes kind of like so, just basically focusing on there being muscles and building it up along there. So we've got a curved line for the neck that goes around to the shoulder. Then we will do a kind of a more thick line around here. I will then draw some lines here and here for the hip. The jaw, basically we're just keeping it to the shape of the jaw of the skeleton. I'm gonna, yeah, basically when you're putting skin over the top of your skulls, they don't look overly different to, depending on the skull structure, of course, they don't look overly different. The head doesn't look very much different to the shape of the skull, so we won't discuss too far into that one. I'm just going to draw the shape, fixing it up a little bit, because it looks like it has a bit of a curve, like so. And just for the record, if you're wondering what I'm using a Pentel. I've got another pencil here. As you can see, it's a Pentel 120 A3DX. This one is something else. That's a 0.5mm lead. That's just basically what I like drawing with. I've gone into detail about that in other drawing tutorials, so I'm not going to go too far into it now. Right, around here, I'm going to draw a line that kind of indicates where I think there'd be muscle. And also, the esophagus would probably go down here, so I'm going to keep that there. And now, I'm going to erase the neck vertebrae. So, there we go. It just looks so weird, Carnotaurus. Like, seriously, the body just looks very strange. It's a very strange dinosaur. Maybe that's why people put in the, let's put in some of the spikes now. I think that's probably why people put spikes and dermals along its neck and back, just to make it look a little less, derpy. I don't know, it just doesn't look very terrifying in my opinion, if you have just like a smooth body. So I reckon that it would have spikes and hard, I'm just going to call them dermal things, like circles and stuff, kind of like an ankylosaurus. So I'm just going to draw some ovals and shapes along its neck, because I've seen so many other artists doing the same thing, and it kind of looks like that's how a Carnotaurus would look. And also, because it had those thick bone structures under the neck, bone structures in the neck, that I think it's a thick, solid neck. So I'm going to just do some lines here, again, kind of like Indominus Rex. So I'm just going to do some lines here, like so. You can follow along. They're not exactly straight, they're just a little bit wiggly. I don't know if I'm going to do a detailed scaling of this one. I might just limit it to just drawing the body, but we'll see. Now I'm just going to put in that those little arms. They are very strange. Like, it literally does not look like it has an elbow. Just going to draw some circles around here. I will erase. I'm also going to need to turn on some light soon. I will erase that line. I'll erase some lines here. Erase the lines here. So, I'm probably going to have to find a much zoomed in version of its hands, but you're not going to really be learning much from doing the hands in this tutorial. Just draw some little tiny little fingers, like so. They're very tiny. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it in this video. But basically it has a little, I guess you could call this its elbow. It does have one little bone in there. But yeah, there's its interesting hands. Right, now, so what we'll do is I'm going to work in a muscle that connects its hip to its knee joint. Doing the same here. The end of its hip to the back of its knee. And around here there'd be like a calf muscle. So I'm going to draw that. Okay, now what we'll do is we will make its, in the skeleton, it appears that the its leg bone is kind of like this. It has a big structure here that goes down to about here. So I probably should actually fix up my knee and do it more like that. And then move that down to its ankle, like so. And I'm actually going to put on some extra lights just to... There we go, fix up. Oh no, still got shadows. Well, unfortunately we'll have to deal with shadows. I've changed my lighting a bit, so now I've got some... Oh my gosh, hiccup. I think that's it. Okay. Because I've had to put on some extra light now, we've got a shadow that we're going to have to deal with, so hopefully that doesn't interfere too much. I'm going to fix up this line, because I think it'll... I thought its leg was a little bit too muscular, so I'll probably have the line going more down to about there, connecting the hip to the back of the thigh. So we've got that line. I'm going to draw in a little bit of a fake line. I call it fake line because we're going to be erasing it anyway. But basically, we're drawing the other leg that's been hidden by the body so that we can know where it connects to the knee part. So I'm just going to do that line. Going to draw the line around there. The muscle, kind of like so, and then it seems to have very chunky knees as I put the bone there. So maybe Carnotaurus was all about running. I don't know. It seems like a strange little dinosaur. Not little dinosaurs. It's a decent sized dinosaur. It's a strange one. Right, so I'm gonna, because we've got the pelvis bone here, I'm gonna put in the pelvisy bit and connect that into the chest. And that line is the point of where we will erase these lines now. And I'll also do the same up here for this leg. And I'll do the same with the back spine. Okay, so we've got that. Then we'll do the ankle. Its feet will be difficult a little bit. Basically, we've got the skeleton to try and give us a helping hand. I've noticed that some people commented that that drawing the feet, my explanation of drawing the feet isn't terribly brilliant, but I'm gonna try my best here. I've got another tutorial coming up on how to do feet and focusing on the skeletal part of the underlying structure of the feet, so that will be coming soon. That will probably help a lot in understanding how to draw the feet part, but for now we'll just draw in our toes. I'm kind of looking at this, I'm looking at the skeleton of this one, so I'm just going to draw one toe. Seems to have two movable pieces. The middle toe has 4 movable pieces, so I'll just draw that foot like that. And draw it like so, and like so. I kind of want to draw this again in a much bigger scale, like maybe A2 size. As you can tell by the size of my hand, I do have large hands, but the size of my hand is that's the scale that I'm drawing at, so these feet don't allow much room for detail. Draw a claw, draw that part of the foot. Also, another little fun thing while I'm drawing the feet is that I've been noticing lots of my tutorials floating around on Instagram in drawn format by other people, which is awesome. So I'm thinking I'm getting close to the 2,000 subscriber mark now. I'm at 1,500 now, so I think 2,000 mark or something like that, I'm going to make a little video just based on, it's going to be a little blog thing. It's not going to be too spectacular, but just a little gallery of all the different people's drawings from tutorials that I've done, that I've found, and that have been submitted. So if you want to submit your artwork, I'm going to try and find a way to make an email of some sort, because I want to get good high resolution ones for this 1080p video. But if you want to submit something, basically you can find, I think in my info on YouTube, you can check there's my email in there, or yeah, basically just email me, beanarts@hotmail.com for now. I'm going to be making a Beanie Draws specific email at some point, but just email me there, or tag me on Instagram, beanarts, and I will use whatever I can find, or whatever's been submitted by the time I've actually done the video. That will be, that probably will be in a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, submit what you've done. I'd love to see it, and I would love to showcase it to everyone else on this channel. So yeah, that's just like another little extra bit for you guys to enjoy and look forward to. I'm going to do a little dermal claw there. Now I'm just going to do this last foot. Going to put in its claw there for its foot. Another claw here for its foot. I'm probably going to have to make my next tutorial a Ankylosaurus, I think. I've been getting lots of good suggestions, but yeah, I definitely want to do an Ankylosaurus. I'd love to do an Ankylosaurus versus Indominus Rex, because that scene is epic. I think that scene, other than the end scene, the Indominus Rex versus Ankylosaurus was like my favorite scene in the whole movie, I think. It was just freaking awesome. I was not expecting that, and yeah. I was hoping that we'd get to see more Ankylosaurus in Jurassic World, considering how it was in Jurassic Park 3, but for like a few seconds. So I think they made up for the lack of Ankylosaurus in Jurassic Park 3 with the amount of Ankylosaurus in Jurassic World. Okay. So I haven't really explained much on how to draw this foot, because I find explaining the feet complicated, so hopefully you just kind of watched along and can kind of gathered what I'm doing. Again, there'll be a tutorial coming along that explains a little bit more specifically. By a little bit more, I mean quite a lot more, because that video goes for about 40 minutes, but it'll be going into more detail on how to the theory behind the fundamentals of drawing feet for dinosaurs. So now, I'm going to draw the tail. It's not too precise down this end, but that's okay. You just refine your tip. It tapers down to the end of the tip of the tail. Depending on how many of my videos you've seen, this may be your first video. If this is the first video of mine that you've watched, thanks for watching, welcome along. This is also a line for the rib cage. I just subconsciously draw lines without thinking of explaining them. But if this is your first video that you've watched, thanks for watching. Hopefully I've earned your subscription, but if this is one of many videos that you've watched, you'll know from a lot of my tutorials now that I just, you know, fairly similar formula. But yeah, now I'm just going to draw some more sort of Ankylosaurus-y, crocodilian, bumpy, hard-ridged dermal lumps, very much like Indominus Rex, hence why I'm pretty sure Indominus Rex is made of Tyrannosaurus, Carnotaurus, Velociraptor, and probably some other things in there as well. Well, you know, other than the cuttlefish and all that kind of stuff. But dinosaur-wise, I'm pretty sure Carnotaurus is playing a significant role in Indominus Rex. What I'm doing here, to explain, is I'm just drawing curved lines. As opposed to the spiky lines for these lumps, I'm doing curved lines at the bottom of those scales. And now I'm just going to do some oval ones. As you can see, I'm kind of doing them in a row. Kind of going to go along the back and then going up to the tail. I might record me drawing the scales in this one, but I don't think I'm going to explain it that much. I've got quite a lot of videos now that are covering my skin drawing, so I don't think I really need to explain too much more on the skin drawing. I will be doing a video tutorial on my interpretations of doing the scaling of the head of this later on in a different video, but yeah. These are just some lines to form wrinkles, but I think we're pretty much at the end of this video now. I'm going to draw a muscle line there, I'm going to clean up the legs a little. I'm going to clean up that line a bit, get rid of that underlying bone structure. Give a little bit of a muscle line here. I'm just going to quickly refine a little bit of the eye, because, you know, I'm not doing much detail in here, but basically what I do is I have to remember to stop saying basically all the time. I do notice that after editing a lot of my videos, I say basically and kind of a lot. Around here, I am only drawing the top half of the indentation of the skulls. That way I find that leaving the bottom lines makes it look less like it's got holes in its head, and looks more like it's got indentations in its head, because they're just meant to be indentations, not holes. And I suppose around here we'd have to add in a little eye, not that you're going to really see it because it's such small detail. Again, I'll be doing a proper video, well, not a proper video, because this video is not too bad, but I will be going into detail in a much larger scale on how to do Carnotaurus head only, because I want to. So I'm going to say yeah. Right, so I'm just refining the jaw and the back of the skull. As you can see, it's not connected here. Around here, it doesn't connect up there. I find that's a good way of making it look like it's organically attached without being a separate identity. Going to draw some lines now around here, just to these last little bits, as you'll notice, is just me just adding little lines of detail and just giving it a little bit of extra life. This is 36 minutes. I'm trying to keep these tutorials under 40 minutes, because I did do a cartoon of Indominus Rex, and that video goes for 15 minutes because I was having troubles with it. But just going to draw some circle, oval, dermal lines here, going down the tail. And I think I will draw it. I will refine this later on. I'm going to render it now with a loose bit of pencil, but I will be rendering it properly. But that will be time-lapsed, because, you know, that's time-consuming, too long to watch, considering all the other drawings I've done, but you'll get the idea. You watch it, and you'll get the idea. And now I'm just going to give it a light once-over, rendering-wise, just to give it a bit of shadow. I'll use my thicker pencil, because 0.5, as you'll see in one of my other videos, the 0.5 is a thin line, which means it doesn't render as easily. Great for drawing, not so great for rendering. Just going to do some rendering there. Going to render underneath its neck a bit. Very loose, very rough. Well, for me, very loose and very rough. For some of you, this is quite good rendering. I went into a rant in another video. I don't even know if I've uploaded it or not. Can't remember what I've ranted in some of my videos, but basically just going on about our different skill levels, and I have to remind myself that my basic and rough is other people's refined and good, because we're just at all different skill levels. The more you draw, the more you practice, the more you improve, and then you look back over what you've done and you go, ah, that wasn't my best that I could have drawn. Like, I've found some pictures from about 10 years ago which are pretty good, but I could do so much better nowadays. Just because we develop as artists and we improve. So, just doing my rendering, as you know. So yeah, basically, if you hear in my videos, if you hear me beating myself up about, you know, thinking I could do better or something's not great. It's not any indication of what your skill levels are as an artist. It's just the fact that I have a bar that I have set for myself now as an artist. After, you know, drawing for like 20-something years, I've refined my skills to a level where I've set myself a bar, and when I don't reach it, in my opinion, and because, you know, artists are perfectionists sometimes, I want to improve. Sometimes I really, really love what I've done. Like, I quite like this drawing. It's not too bad for me, considering I've actually never drawn Carnotaurus before, but, as you can see, just bring it back to tutorial aspect and not, ranting. I'm trying to think of where the light is falling over the dinosaur, and then just basic shadows underneath. But, basically, I'll also have to stop saying basically all the time. I think I just mentioned that before. But, yeah. Artists, perfectionists, we beat ourselves up sometimes, but, you know, the baby T-Rex I did, the Indominus Rex, some of these new cartoons that I've got going, I really, really like them, so, you know, sometimes we don't overly like what we've done, sometimes we hate what we've done, sometimes we love what we've done, and sometimes we're just like, yep, it's not too bad, this'll do. So this drawing is one of those, yeah, it's not bad, that'll do. I could do much better, as you've seen from my Indominus Rex full body and my Velociraptor blue running. I can go into far more detail, and I can improve quite a lot, but, you know, this is already 40 minutes. I don't even know if I'll keep the ranting in, but yeah. Around here, I will add that, I darken it up around here, because that's where it connects to the body, and it's hidden, there's like a gap fold in there, which is hidden by light, or hidden from light, so I darken it up there, and then I lighten it up down to out here. So, that's me drawing Carnotaurus full-bodied. Hopefully you've learnt something on how to draw another dinosaur. Oh, I just realised I forgot to draw the teeth. Can't really eat when you, well, you can eat when you don't have teeth, but, you know, it's difficult. Let's just quickly draw these teeth in. Alright, so there you have it, folks. That is how to draw a Carnotaurus at a fairly basic to intermediate level. Hopefully you've been able to follow along. If you have and you've learnt something, please be sure to comment and subscribe and like and all that good stuff. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and I'll have more videos for you to watch. But yeah, more suggestions on what to draw is always good. I will be doing it. I've got a few ideas on what I'm going to be doing now down the track, but thanks for watching so far. It's been another long tutorial video, sorry, but hopefully you've learnt something, and I will catch you soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.